12 races into the season, and we have seen many different winners so far. As a matter of fact, only one driver has won multiple races so far this season. And here today, the Dover Motor Speedway, we may see ourselves our 12th different winner of the season. We're excited for this one, of course. It's our home racetrack here, the Wawa Cup Series and the Herr Sprint Series, and it's always a good time here in the first state of Delaware. It's the Dover Motor Speedway and the Delaware 150, the 13th race of the season here for Sprint Series Night in America. Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to the Dover Motor Speedway here. We are excited for this race, we're excited for this whole weekend. Obviously, my first motorsport event of the year that I'll be attending on Sunday, hopefully. Hopefully it doesn't rain this time around, but hey, either way, we're excited for it. Love this racetrack, and, we get to celebrate our home base, kind of. Of course, then again, too, I'm from Pennsylvania, and the gentleman alongside me as well, but hey, you know what, we're close to this track, our home track, and we absolutely love it. Very unique racetrack here as well. We don't really have anything else like it on the schedule. Concrete, mile-long oval, and the tire wear is very significant here. So if there was any comparison, maybe Rockingham, but then again, this thing, it's got its own personality to it, and we're going to really have a lot of fun with this one, especially on Saturday within the Morris Children's Health 400. Turn alongside Andrew Miller for the call of this one. And Andrew, we've seen races here before in person, and while they may not translate all the way to real life, knowing what we see at the racetrack, what do you think we're going to see here tonight in this 38-lap sprint race?
I think that passing is actually going to be maybe a little bit easier at this track. Track position is maybe not going to be quite as crucial as it maybe has been at other races that we've seen this season. But of course, yeah, you and I have plenty of experience being at this track in real life. I'm looking forward to going with you again this year. So we're going to have a lot of fun there. We're going to have a lot of fun tonight. Hoping to see a fair amount of passing here, as I had just said. So I still think inside lane is going to be the key. If you're starting on that lane, then that's going to, of course, put you in the best spot possible. If you're starting on the outside, it's going to be a little bit harder. You're going to have to try to get down there at some point or another, or else you might find yourself slipping from like top 6 to probably more like 17th, 18th. So we'll see how that will translate.
And of course, this racetrack does tend to get spread out quite a bit, so tire conservation is going to be a huge key to this race and on Saturday as well. And like I said, a pretty big fall off here, not as much as it is at Rockingham, but enough to definitely cause a bit of a strategy play in this race. And there's no pit stops here in the Sprint Series, so these guys are going to be on that one set the whole way through, so that'll really make things interesting here today. But you know what? There's a good opportunity for a driver to get his first career win. And that's Leonard Kochmer starting on the pole position. Got the fastest lap last week at Talladega. And, of course, that was a big wildcard race in terms of the fastest lap. So this starting lineup's kind of all over the place. And such a huge opportunity for him to get his first career win on the channel. Starting on the pole position here at Dover. That's one of the best places you can do. One of the best places you can start on the pole position at, because it's very easy to win from the pole in a non-pit stop race here. But, hey, he's still going to have to fend off Eli Bright behind him. Aaron Abel to his outside. Both of those guys are going to be hard guys to beat, and we'll have to see how it all goes down. But Alexander Rowe still starting top 10 here today. He starts in the 8th position for this race, more specifically. He's still your points leader, but only by 17 points now ahead of Vinny Scholes, who won last week at Talladega. Of course, Vinny's had a great season as well, and hey, she won the Pro Series Championship last year, and she has been consistently running well here, starting to close down on Alexander Rowe right there. Brandon Nelson is third in points. He's 28 points behind. And then Guad Romero, who's the only other driver who has won multiple races this season so far in the Sprint Series, is 33 behind. Nathan Faden, the Texas winner from 2 weeks ago, 40 points behind coming into this race. But, hey, we still got 20 races left to go here in the season, and a lot can happen between now and the finish. There could be someone sitting there, outside the top 10 who could find themselves up front. We may end up with a champion who doesn't make every single race this season. That is very possible, considering we have 32 races this year, so we'll have to see how that ends up shaking out. Like I mentioned, it's Leonard Kochmer in the 4, starting on the pole position here in the Delaware 150. It got the 69 of Aaron Abel. That's Aaron Abel in the 69 this week, because we got someone special in the 64. 0-2 there of Eli Bright. Second consecutive start right there. And he finished runner-up in the Talladega race a week ago. we'll have to see if he gets the job done here today at Dover alongside Joe Rutkowski. Kind of interesting that they start alongside each other right there, two good friends. And the number 13 there, that's Zayden Davidson, once again, into the inside of Juan Romero. 50 machine there of Vinny Scholes. Once again, the winner of last week's Alabama 200 to the inside of Alexander Rowe in the 93. Skylar Taylor, Brandon Nelson, Baltazar Steep, Anthony McClure, Chris Reynolds, Dylan Matthews, Corey Case, and Nathan Faden, actually, I should say. And then it's Joey Brown and Christian Master, Santiago Labrito, and Duncan Ward ran out the drivers who were in last week's race. Stuart Gratton's back behind the wheel in the 64 machine to the inside of the 99, driven this week by Matt Hunter. And then two drivers making their first career starts here today. Dylan Walker in the 25 and the 96 of Jackson Smith. Let's go ahead and get these guys to roll off here from the Dover Motor Speedway. And Andrew, who do you think is going to get it done here today in this 38-lap race around the Monster Mile?
All right, let's see. Who can I jinx today? No, for real though. I'm gonna say Eli Bright on this one. Great starting position and a true veteran of offline racing. I believe had a championship on my channel. Don't quote me on that, but I think he did. So, but knows how to get it done. Obviously, as you said, good friends with the gentleman starting to his outside, and hey, a good old friend of mine as well. So, be rooting for him, and I think he's in a good spot to do it.
Of course, he made his first career start on the channel in over 2 years, and then, of course, made it into the Cup race as well, and ran in that Mountain Dew 500 this past Saturday. We can go 2 in a row in the Wawa Cup Series. Of course, the highest eligible driver will be driving the 00 this week for Team Williams, and you got the 11 there, Grattan Autosport next in line, 31 for Titan Fury, and then the 50 machine for Appalachian Motorsports. So these guys want to make it into the Cup race because, hey, the Cup race was won by a Sprint Series driver last year. We'll see if Kosmer can do that. He's going to take the green flag. We're underway here at the Monster Mile on the Delaware 150. And Leonard Kochman going to lead lap number 1 there for Titan Fury Racing. And that's the exact start that he wanted. But Eli Bright's going to get out to second pretty easily right there as Aaron Abel slips back in the 69. Of course, it's like you mentioned at the top of the show, Andrew, that outside lane is not where you want to be here at Dover. There's not much grip there. And these guys are going to slip back pretty quick. So that inside lane, that's where all the grip is here on this racetrack. So Zayden Davison, Vinny Scholes, all those guys who started on the inside lane. 1, 2, 3, 4. Juan Romero got back to the inside. He's getting around Abel, but Aaron Abel continues to fall back in that 69 machine. As for the race lead, Eli Bright's all over the back bumper of Leonard Kochman right here. And you also got Zayden Davison, the other Titan Fury car, in the middle of all this as well. And here comes Eli Bright. He might have a shot here on the 4. Not quite yet.
It closed right in on him. I mean, we saw Kochmar really open up a gap on that initial start. Several car lengths, and now it's non-existent. He's got two guys, as you said, breathing right down his neck. Don't know if he's trying to save a whole bunch of tires this early on. But, man, they closed right in, and if he keeps drifting up just that little bit there, they could open up the door to allow Bright to peek his nose in there.
For such a high-paced racetrack, you have to find the right groove to get the pass made, and lots of times that happens when the driver ahead of you makes a mistake. And these guys already, you can tell these tires are starting to wear out here at Dover, and it's going to be quite significant once we get to the end of this race as well. So that might be something Kochmar is trying to do, hold these guys up just a little bit here, try to save the tires so that at the end of the race, he's got some pretty fast Goodyears on him, and he can cruise to victory lane. But he's got to be careful not to let Eli Bright get around him, because it's going to be much harder to make a pass later on in the run than it is right now, and Eli might have a shot right here. Very good run there through turns 1 and 2. Still unable to get the nose to the inside, but all these guys right on each other. You got Zayden Davison in third, Vinny Scholes, and Juan Romero there in the 87, all in a line. I want to go through the field and showcase some of the other stuff going on here in this race, but Eli Bright, he could strike for the race lead at any moment right here.
13 slipping back just a little bit there. Maybe, as you said, maybe just trying to save his stuff there a little bit. That is one definite difference that NR Dover has over real life. I would say in real life, tire wear is kind of middle of the road. It's not super crazy critical, as we saw with the real-life Cup race last year. But in NR, oh yeah, that tire fall-off is very heavy, as we got to pass here for second place. But then look at the gap that instantly opens up as soon as those guys go side by side.
Yeah, that was exactly what Leonard wanted to see. And you know what? That 13 is his teammate here right now. Whereas Zayden Davidson and that 13 machine going to move up to second. That's going to open the door for Vinny Scholes as well. Skylar Taylor up here in the 55. Whereas in the Cup Series, tire wear pretty much doesn't matter at any race anymore, except Bristol apparently. But hey, you know what? We can work our magic here in NR a lot better than they can in real life. So that's one thing I love about doing these races. Get some good action week in and week out here. Vinny Scholes up to third, looking to go 2 in a row here. Like I mentioned at the top of the show, we have only had one driver win multiple races this year, and that's Juan Romero, who won Las Vegas, Bristol, and South Boston. But he's kind of slipped back a little bit since then. Only 6 top 10s on the year. And, you know, that's not bad. Obviously, he's at the top threshold of top 10s, but so does Nathan Faden. Brandon Nelson have 6 top 10s. Vinny Scholes has 7 top 10s. And then, of course, there's Alexander Rowe, who, by the way, is outside the top 10 at the moment. Hey, a great run for Stuart Gratton up to 11th there in the 64 machine. As we head back up front here, and Zayden Davidson's all over the back bumper of his teammate right now for this race lead. We'll have to see if Zayden can get it done here. Both of these drivers, I believe Davidson's never gone the victory lane before. He may have won a Pro Series race last year on with Caleb doing it, and I did not catch it. I mean, obviously it's in the wins list, but I may not be remembering that. But I'm pretty sure both these guys going for their first career wins here tonight. And how about Igor Barreto's team right here, Titan Fury Racing? They're 1-2 right now here at Dover.
Pretty impressive to see there. I mean, Alex, you got to remember. I mean, how long have you been doing this? That's a lot of stats for you to keep track of in your head. So that's pretty impressive.
Especially for races
here we go.
Done, and here we go. Zayden Davidson's got the nose of the inside of Leonard Koshmer for the race lead. Koshmer's going to try to get the outside lane to work to his advantage, and we're side by side here on lap 13 at Dover. Davidson going to push it down on the inside lane, and the smart thing for Koshmer to do is kind of let him go right here and try to get back in line. But how about Zayden Davidson right there in the 13 machine? He's had a good season as well. Hasn't made every start this year. That's kind of been his fault, but you know what? Only one other driver who has missed the race is ahead of him in points, and that's Michael Lewis. He's 12th in points right now. Zayden Davidson is only 69 points behind, and you know what? Even though that is about 3 races worth of points, that is still a very possible gap to make up for Davidson as the season rolls along if he can make the rest of these races. And we'll have to see how he can fare in this race. We're not quite halfway in this one yet, but we'll have to see what he can do. So, Vinny Scholes closing in. She's within a half second of the race lead. Eli Bright, once again in the transfer position. Then you got Juan Romero and Aaron Abel battling right here. Of course, Romero in the last transfer spot for the Cup race on Saturday. And that's due to the fact that Vinny Scholes, of course, one of the drivers for Brendan Wilmington. Aaron Abel's also ineligible. And then Skylar Taylor trying to find some way to that 87 so they can make it onto the race. Chris Reynolds, Dylan Matthews, Joe Rodkowski, the top 10. Then it is Stuart Gratton, Alexander Rose, Santiago Labarito, Corey Case, Joey Brown, Anthony McClure, 99 machine there of Matt Hunter, Nathan Faden, 56 at Christian Master, Duncan Ward, Baltazar Steep, 25 machine, Dylan Walker in his first career start, Brandon Nelson, 96 of Jackson Smith. And then for the race lead, that's all you gotta do. That's all you gotta do. Each and every time, Koshmer back to the inside. He's got the lead back away from Zayden Davidson here at Dover. And they also put Vinny Scholes on the outside lane and Eli Bright trying to close back in. And once again, a pass for the race lead. There goes Davidson on Koshmer trying to get that inside lane to work. And they're going to be side by side down the backstretch. No, I don't know. The tires are starting to give out now for these guys. And we got some great stuff up front here at Dover.
Impressive from Kochber. They were able to really get it going on the outside. But here's another run for the 13. Maybe a little bit of a draft push from the 02. I know that sounds silly of me to say at Dover, but I mean, the speeds are definitely high enough that it could start to probably play a little bit of an effect. Ooh, maybe gotten a little too close there and had to back off. But man, top 3 all under a blanket. Bright back up here in a good position. And as you said, I mean, guys trying to close back in on each other. Well, Romero and the 69 of Abel are both now in this conversation as well.
I think we've got a lot of guys who can win this race right here. I don't know how fast the Titan Fury guys really are. this tire wear really makes it what it is. These guys kind of just stay all in each other trying to save the tires going into the race. It's a lot like that Bristol race we saw in the Cup Series, where, they kind of all slow down a little bit to save the stuff for the end of the race. But the thing is, by the end of the race, those tires are definitely going to be worn out. But just like you mentioned, you got Guantanamo. This is the kind of race where you can fool around and win it. He's already up to 4th right now as they got around Vinny Scholes right there, and that Ford did not have a good exit. Chris Davidson's got to be careful not to let Eli Bright to his inside. Triad Racing has not had a good season at all there. Travis Crampton's team. And Anthony McClure, of all the full-time guys, as a matter of fact, of all the guys who have made every race so far this season, he's lowest in the points. And so too really hasn't found much success either with the assortment of drivers they've had. But they've got Eli behind the wheel right now here today. And you know what? He's got a good chance of possibly winning this thing. Now, what do you do if you're Eli Bright? Because if that 13 makes a move on Kochmer, that 02 is going to be closer to the race lead, more than likely. My goodness, they're all on each other right here, and Davidson trying to find some way around this 4. Maybe he's trying to wait for the right time to make the move on Kochmer for the race lead. But either way, Kochmer wins this race. That's a very good move that he made on Davidson, and definitely a strong statement for him as he moves on through this season. I have to see, if he keeps this momentum up, maybe someone picks him up for a Cup ride next year. Of course, he does have to sign up, but it's definitely a possibility, and we'll have to see how that ends up shaking out for him. This 13, he backed off and then dove it in pretty hard into the corner, trying to close in on that 4 machine. I tell you what, this is some intense stuff. We got 6 guys within a second of each other here at Dover.
I wonder if we're kind of seeing that kind of Bristol-esque strategy here of like, you know what, just do your thing. I'm just going to ride right here. I'm going to kind of force you maybe into a mistake, but I'm not going to tear my stuff up trying to pass you at this point. Because, we saw back and forth between the 13 and the 4 there for a while. I don't know if that would have eaten up their stuff a little bit. Definitely looks like Romero may have eaten up his stuff a little bit. He's starting to drop back. And there goes the 4 again. Maybe that was the strategy this whole time. But now Bright's saying, all right, too late. Let's do this.
Eli Bright trying to get around Zayden Davidson right here. But now these tires are wearing out. That outside lane does have a bit more grip. And Davidson able to hold the position right there. And that's good news for Kochmer, trying to hold these guys off for this win. Maybe that groove is starting to move up just a little bit right here. We'll have to see if that's the case for Davidson and these guys trying to close in. Of course, we haven't seen any of these guys make passes on each other. It's like a real-life cup race out here. There goes Eli Bright, though, trying to make it on Davidson. I think he's got it this time. And he does, so he's up to the 2nd position. Now we'll have to see if Eli Bright can close in. Hey, you're picked to win. We'll see if the jinx finally is over for you. And don't worry, everybody's got it. Even the real-life guys. I know they were mentioning something good about Chase Briscoe in the Texas race the other day, and what happened to him 2 minutes later? He got spun into the outside wall, but that's what happens when you race at Texas in real life, I guess. Eli Bright's all there on the 4 machine for this race lead. It's going to be 10 laps to go next time by here in this Delaware 150. Going to try to work a higher line, maybe get a run there. Oh boy, he's got a good chance right here. He might take it away from Kochmer.
That was a nice diamond of the corner right there. Kochmer really didn't quite get that, but again, there's just not quite enough momentum, and you don't want to dive it in there because then you tear up your stuff on the inside trying to keep it off the guy on top of you, and the guy on top of you is just going to get the run off and speed away. So, but and then there's the 13 right back on his tail again. So what do you do here?
It's very interesting. Davidson got around the 4 and couldn't drive away. That was very interesting, but Eli Bright might have a shot here at this race lead. It's going to be close. It is going to be a close one. That 4 machine is clearly not the fastest car on the track, but it is difficult to pass here. Thing is, it jams up 2nd place, and they keep passing for each other, which gives that 4 an advantage, and there goes Davidson again for 2nd on Eli Bright. So will Davidson have a shot at getting around the 4 here? It's now his turn, but the thing is, he only has 8 laps to go on this race to get around his teammate. Look at this. Dylan Matthews, Stuart Grattan, what in the world is he doing out there? You know what? He's won here before. The very first race we officially had here at Dover, Stuart Grattan went to victory lane in the first season of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Y'all remember that? I bet Stuart does. I don't think he's going to win here today, but that'd be something else if he can get a top 5 after starting pretty much, he started 22nd in this race, but what a run for him. And there's Alex in a row. Obligatory top 10 for him right there. And Vinny Scholes is behind him right now as well. And Eli Bright trying to get back around Davidson for this race lead. Will this be something we see on Saturday?
Oh, man, that'd be interesting. Oh, here goes Bright.
And once again.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, but Eli's got a problem. Yeah, now he doesn't have a problem. He just lost the tires right there. He completely lost the grip, and Davidson got that outside lane, and now we're really at that point where the tire wear is just that significant. These guys are losing the grip, but Davidson's going to have a shot here. He's got a good run there, trying to work that higher line, and he's going to try to make a move for the race lead. Will he be able to make it stick? Kochmar's got the wire line, but Davidson's got the run on the inside, and we got a new race leader, and Eli Bright looking to take second away from Kochmar, and Davidson pulling away in the 13. Oh, that's a shame for Kochmar. Led the most laps in this race, and right near the end, it looks like he might lose it, but it's not over yet. Eli Bright might try to close in here on the 13 with 4 laps to go in this Delaware 150. This has been an excellent race here in the Sprint Series, and it really makes me look forward to what we've got coming on Saturday in the Wawa Cup Series. That's going to be a great one.
Strategy, even though there's no pit stops. But, golly, these cars have to be driving like dump trucks at this point. Just nothing left as far as these things turning. And right now that 13 is pulling away. I mean, remember what we said about him just hanging behind the 4 and not really doing anything. I think I might be paying off now. Oh, man, and look at the 97, or 87, rather, excuse me. Getting back into finding some speed here. And they're all stacked up.
They are stacked up all over the place. Romero has the last transfer spot into the Cup race on Saturday. It's Zayden Davidson, Eli Bright, Leonard Kochmar, and that's the silver lining for Kochmar if he can hold on to this top 4 right here that'll race in the Cup Series. And with Titan Fury as well, the rate it's going right now. You got Juan Romero there in the 4th position. Aaron Abel, Dylan Matthews, Chris Reynolds, Stuart Gratton. How about the 99 of Matt Hunter in the top 10? Then Alex in a row just barely hanging on to a top 10 once again. Here we go. White flag in the air in the Delaware 150 for Zayden Davidson. Eli Bright closed him 2/10 that last lap. Will he have enough speed to find his way to the back bumper of this 13? I don't think it's going to happen for him. That right there was the move for the race win there when Davidson got around that 4. And Zayden Davidson going to get his first career win on the channel, his first win of the season. Titan Fury going to go to victory lane. It's Zayden Davidson winning the Delaware 150 here at Dover Motor Speedway.
Went from driving a race car to driving a dump truck, and it worked perfect. It worked out just fine for him. But yep, I definitely think that came into him just waiting behind the 4 and not quite passing him until the time came. Bright got impatient, went for it, and I think that pass alone that Bright tried to make earlier is what probably wore him out just enough that he couldn't quite catch back up. But yeah, great race there. It's crazy stuff just to watch all that strategy play out. And just this short little thing that didn't even have any pit stops, so that was cool.
Yeah, you've got the race on Saturday. That's going to be a fun one. No doubt about it. The Morse Children's Health 400. This was the Delaware 150. Whatever. It doesn't really matter. How about Chris Reynolds getting the pole for next week's race at Armory Digital? Dash for Cash starts next week. That's going to be a lot of fun. Top 10 finishers from that race move on in advancement for that at Oregon Motor Speedway, Oregon International Speedway, I should say, which is another fictional racetrack. And then from there, the top 4 from that race move on to Hillside. And the highest finisher of those 4 in Hillside gets the $25 prize. Hey, you've won a cash prize on this channel before. You know what that's like. You got Zayden Davidson in second with the fastest lap there. He'll start outside pole. Matt Hunter and then Leonard Kochmar, another great lap for him. Now, the thing is, Armory Digital, it don't matter where you start. It's going to be the most cycle-type race that we've had all season and probably will have all season here in the Herr Sprint Series. But great to bring back the Armory Digital 250. I'm excited to bring that track back. We ran so many races at Armory Digital back in the day. It's been a couple of years since we've gone to that track, but we will be returning next Tuesday night, because the race is a bit longer, next Tuesday night for the Armory Digital 250. Of course, the signups will still be Wednesday night for the next race. But the signups for that race for Armory Digital are coming up in just a couple of minutes right here on the channel. And how about that for Zayden Davidson there? Able to get the pass meet on Leonard Koshmer for the race lead. It's a tough break for Koshmer, but still finished in the top 5. Will be racing on Saturday in the Cup race. And you know what? For a guy who's only in his 8th career start on the channel, that ain't too bad.
Not shabby at all. But yeah, that was cool to see. It was almost like, a bit of a recoil. Guys would spread out and then get really close together, and then spread out and get really close together. Like, they could not have been more than an inch off of each other's bumpers there for a while, the top 3. I'm with you. I definitely don't think that Kochmer quite had the fastest car. I think that he was trying his best to save himself while leading and not giving up the lead. Probably just had to push his tires just a little bit harder. And then once the move was made, it was game over. So, I'm with you. It's going to be really, really neat to see how the Cup race is going to play out. Kind of hoping I can play the strategy a little bit decently. We'll see what happens. Trying to get NS Racing a good result. But as always, thank you for having me for this one. And I look forward to attending this race in real life with you as well. We are going to have a blast.
We are, as we always are. Dover's a great, even though it's an SMI track, it's actually a great place to watch a race. Just because of how small the track is, there really isn't a bad seat at Dover. I've been to Pocono, and Pocono doesn't have all good seats because it's just such a big track. Indianapolis is great. That's an absolute mecca when it comes to racing. But it is also so big that you can't see the whole track. But Dover, you can see pretty much every inch. And, hey, they go pretty fast there, too. So, if you ever want to go see a good NASCAR race, Dover's a good middle ground for a good race, and you get to see all the action. Hey, it's an hour from my house. So, you know what? I like it. I like it a lot. I like that it's my home track. It's very unique. I love going there. But, hey, Zayden Davidson loved coming here today. He'll be back here on Saturday, driving that 00 for Team Williams. You got the 02 Eli Bright finishing second. He'll be with Grattan Autosport once again. How about that? And then Leonard Kochmer will be driving the 31 for Titan Fury and Juan Romero for Appalachia on Saturday. And hey, if there's any silver lining for you, Andrew, the one track that can compare to this in some similarity is Rockingham. The way the tires were out there, fast-paced mile-long racetrack. You finish second there, almost beat Trey Bartow. We'll have to see if that ends up playing into something good for you on Saturday. Well, either way, thank you guys so much for watching once again. Here are the point standings for the Herr Sprint Series after 13 races. And we will see you guys next week on Tuesday night. Sprint Series night is Tuesday night next week for Armory Digital and the Armory Digital 250. Thank you so much for watching once again. Congratulations to Zayden Davidson on his race victory. And here are the points after 13 races. On behalf of Andrew Miller, I will see you guys later.